Snake, you know who that is?
You're kidding, right? It's
Mario! King!
Snake, you know who that is?
You're kidding, right? It's
Mario! King!
forgot I muted it. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. I'll start over. So I was just saying, for most of you guys who know, I posted it. I was, to be married and am married now. I'm a married man. So, um, yeah. This past weekend was the greatest week of my life. Fantastic. Had a really great time with her family and my family. It was like a mini vacation and everything. So obviously, it's the reason why I have been able to make content. If any of you guys know about planning and making weddings, planning weddings and everything, difficult shit, stressful shit. So we finally got all that out the way. If any, I don't know if any of you guys really follow me on Instagram at all, but you would have seen plenty of the pictures and videos and stuff. Fantastic time, man. I would not trade that week, that past week away for anything. Fantastic time. Loved it. Loved every minute of it. But yeah. So I'm sorry. I really wish I had stockpiled some more content to drop over time while I've been gone, but I just didn't plan things. Things didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So planning a wedding is super difficult. You never know. It's this thing, this thing, this thing. Money, 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 money. Guests called, no guests. Guests coming. I can't make it. I can't make it. It's just a bunch of shit. Shit you forget. Shit you gotta do. So it was stressful. But again, no complaints. I'm a married man now, and I couldn't be happier than I am right now. So, but I do wish I was around to make content. I will be going on my honeymoon on Tuesday. So I don't think I'll be able to get a review out for the latest chapter. I thought about making one for these past ones, but I figured I'd just do a stream to talk about it. If everybody was around, I thought I'd be able to do it last week because I got back home from the wedding on Monday, but I immediately got sick as soon as I got home. Like I was in bed for the past 3 days. Just and my honeymoon's on Tuesday, so I can't force myself to do anything. I gotta get better for my honeymoon. I don't want to ruin my honeymoon. Besides all the freaking money we paid for it, so I couldn't stream or make content because I just had to rest. So, hey, what's up, Zenu? Yeah, I wish I would have. I wish I could have streamed when I got back, but I was sick. So, sorry about that. Of course, you don't plan to be sick, but getting sick right after your wedding is like the worst shit, right? So, but yeah. So I'm here. Thanks, Zenu. Appreciate it. I'm here to at least talk about all the stuff that I missed. Obviously, it's been about 2 weeks since I last streamed, so a lot has happened. The Magoo stuff is huge. Um, I know the Zenu showed me on the Discord um, that CU made it to the states, and I was actually kind of looking at some of that stuff. Um, and like there's like a couple like TikToks and stuff around of people um, who saw CU. I did see that on TikTok and on Webtoons. And yeah, I wish I could have. Like I'm looking at it now. I wish I could have made it to that. Looks great. Would have been nice to have a conversation with him, even if briefly. But yeah, it's my wedding week. Too much going on. I would have never have made that. Um. Okay. So where do we start with content? Okay, let's start with the most recent chapter. I didn't like it. It was kind of boring. Nothing really happened. Um, this past chapter, like, it gave me season three vibes a bit, like that in between in season three vibes where, like, stuff gets a little boring. Like, there's only so much stuff you can show us before, like, we don't before like it gets a little bit repetitive. Is what I'm saying, right? Like we're past the point where seeing Urik's hype, like we're past that, right? Like, oh, Urik's on screen, like this is his series, so that's not an effect in this series, right? His power, we've been looking at that the previous two chapters, how strong he is. That's over and done with, so that's not gonna draw us in anymore. Like obviously, if he fights stronger opponents, but even then, like it's still not enough to make the chapter like interesting, right? Like something has to happen. So this chapter just felt a little, and then he didn't necessarily move any plot points along when it comes to the side stories, the side characters. So, for example, Evelyn didn't have anything. I mean, she obviously had something happen, but it wasn't like, oh, okay, it's time to escape. Let's have the bulls attack each other, right? And then we know that the queens. We obviously know that the queen is searching for her, but it wasn't enough going on. Like the bulls attacked each other because she tanked one of them with whatever's wrong with her, and then she got to have a conversation with the kid, and that was like the most interesting bit. But that was about really it. Like nothing really happened with Yurik. I feel like if we saw like, because they kind of sprinkled it in with the advisors talking about him being able to fly, and like the wave controller, the Doberman guy, how he would have to step in, how he would have to, excuse me, step in if you're getting do something. But it would have been nice to like see some expansion from that if that's going to be your like main focal point of the chapter. Like let's hear the Doberman talk about how strong Yurk has to be in order to make the queen go away. Like if you're going to make the chapter interesting, or let's talk about the advisors, how a regular looks like he's flying. Like talk more detail about that. We got sprinkled bits and pieces about how basically how crazy Yurk is, and we've had enough of that. So in my opinion, this chapter really was like a five. Like it really wasn't that good in terms of like even the art style. Like I found it difficult to find the thumbnail to make the thumbnail. Like the art style was just kind of normal, nothing special. Like there's no when I say that there's no specially drawn. Like usually when I judge art style, especially for Tower of God, and you can tell, especially in season three, Seal Spit plays he puts special attention on certain details in the chapters. So for example, when Bomb was fighting Dumas, there was emphasis on Bomb's face and the facial expressions on how pissed off he was getting at Dumas when Dumas was like putting his friends down or whatever. Like those are the specialty ones. Those are the ones I can make my thumbnails. This chapter, there weren't that many special like especially artsy, well drawn like I hard focused this in this chapter, which again does it for me. Like this was kind of like a we call them setup chapters, but it really was boring. Like honestly, I would have rather had like I rather waited a week and him attach it to whatever the next chapter is. Like I would rather that than what this past chapter was because it really was just information about the kid, and it was in the conversation between the guy and Evelyn was back and forth, right? Like it was just like, wow, this guy really doesn't know he's a regular, or he doesn't know what regulars are, and he's talking about his island. And then she says it again. You really don't know what regulars are? No, I don't know what regulars are. But yeah, I just woke up and yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm from this island, and wow, you really don't know what regulars are? No, I just told you I don't know what regulars are. Like that's what the conversation felt like. So it's just like, bro, what is going on? Like this chapter, it really was kind of ass. Like I didn't feel motivated to make a review about it because it was kind of ass. You know, I see you in there, Zenom. If only CU was in Florida, I would have been able to go. Yeah, that would have been nice. I didn't mind the chapter, but I feel like it was a chapter worth of stuff stretched out to be a full. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what exactly what it felt like. I have to say the other cursed one is the Evelyn met is ugly as fuck, and that's what I mean. Well, he's obviously, by the way he's drawn, he's obviously not an important character. He's probably going to relay certain details to us, but he's not an important character by the way he's drawn. Yes, he's ugly as fuck. Usually, characters who don't have much going on, who's not going to last long, look like that. So, yeah, the most detail. I mean, his clothes have more details than his face does. Um, but yeah, the conversation was really repetitive. Nothing really happened with Yurik besides like the bull stuff, and then the grandpa, and obviously the Poe beat out guy came across Lou, but they didn't really like fight. It was kind of like the goddamn the Queen's things attacked them. Which okay, I will say that if the dolphins, if the mini dolphins or whatever helped Grandpa and helped the Lou, by extension of the Queen, by extension of Evelyn, because she's searching for Evelyn and she can read Evelyn's thoughts and she made know that Evelyn wants to help her people or whatever. That's cool. Like, okay, that's cool. But that's it. Like that's really it. Like nothing else is really going on. So I think the previous week's chapter was much better. Seems like Evelyn will control the Dolphin Queen. I definitely think Evelyn's going to control the Dolphin Queen for sure. That's already something we already figured and we hinted at. And I also don't understand why is CU making capturing the crown like such a big deal? Like you're just punched the queen in her head, bro. He just punched the queen in her head. Why can't he just go on top of her and grab the crown? Why is it making it seem like it's a difficult task to do? If he can punch her, he can go on her head and grab the crown. She ran away from him for Christ's sake. Like what? Like it seems like it's a little bit more effort than it needs to be, which is also quite annoying. I don't know if anybody else caught that vibe. Magoo, the other Luminous One Seal are hitting the regulars. So I and also okay. So here's also a thing with this chapter that I do want to talk about. So, and let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up. I thought about that. Either it's plot induced stupidity or there's some. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It felt yeah. It felt kind of stupid. It felt stupid. Like it's okay to call out shit that feels stupid, but yeah, it feels like more effort than it needs to be. So let's pull it up real quick. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, so this guy, right? This is the guy, right? So I don't think Lou and the other guy are irregulars. We know from White's story that there are places in the tower that don't know they're in a tower about Shinsu's heart. Yes. So I don't. Yeah, and I'm right there with you. So I don't think that there's. I don't think that they're these guys, Lou or him. I don't think they're irregulars. I 100% agree with you. I do not think they're regulars. I do think that this island was created by Phantominium for sure. I 100% think that. Um, I think Phantominium cultivated and created this island and created the entire lore behind it. So, okay, here's a perfect example, right, of what I'm getting at, and here's exactly of how I'm thinking of it. I don't know if you guys watch Black Butler, but Black Butler just had its recent season. It just ended with the springtime anime ending, right? So I'm gonna be a little bit of a spoiler. If you don't watch it, it doesn't matter. So here's the plot of it, right? There was this little girl, and she lived in this isolated village. This is like late 1900s, I believe. Like Black Butler is set. Don't quote me on that. I forget the time setting. But so there's supposed to be werewolves that exist around this village that protect the village, and if anybody that's human tries to go into the mist and go and see the werewolves, you get poisoned and you die. Now, Ciel was tasked by the Queen of England to go and investigate the village and investigate the poison and investigate the witch, which is the little girl. The little girl ends up being the witch. Now, the plot turns out to be there is no such thing as werewolves. There is no such thing as like magical poison, and the whole thing was a sham. It's like one of the biggest drops at the end of the season. So it's the last couple episodes. All the whole shit was a sham. They the German military, because the little girl was a literal genius when it came to math and algorithms and shit. She was born to be a complete genius at a young age. They manipulated her imagination to make her believe that she was a witch, and that she it was an all women's village, and they kept men out, and that her whole life was based around keeping the village safe and keeping the werewolves happy to keep protecting them. And so she kept writing spells. These spells were actual formulas for dangerous gas. Now that's getting too deep into the plot, but the whole idea, what I'm getting at is, she didn't know that she knew that there was a world outside of the world, but she didn't know how big the world was, what existed in it, what she didn't know anything, because they cultivated this whole lore behind it, that she was a witch, her mom was a witch, and that this is the whole thing behind it. So I tailor that to this. It sounds like whatever this lore is behind this island, it sounds like it's bullshit, to be real. It sounds like it's something that was created and established to keep the people down, to keep the people not searching or not trying to visit the outside world. Their village is their village. They wear this garment, which is obviously, this garment that they wear is obviously like a test subject garment for like clone like, or for people they're testing on or experimenting on. It's so goddamn obvious to us, but obviously not to them. He said they're walking the path of penance or whatever it is, something like that. Don't quote me. I forget what he says. This is chapter 14. These clothes are those worn by the cursed people living in our village. Miss Evelyn. Da, 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 da. I want to break the curse. Blah blah blah. Like I think that all that shit is probably bullshit. I think it's probably complete bullshit. I don't think they're cursed. I think they're being manipulated. They're probably clones, and there's probably different ones. They're probably obviously female versions of them, and there are male versions of them, but they're isolated from the rest of the Tower Society. Now, to add more context to that, I do believe that like it's something that the administrators have to be aware of. They have to be aware of this, that it exists. I if Unless it's like a red dump. That's the only difference. Unless it's like a red dump where it's hidden between the floors or somewhere they don't have access to or may have forgotten, then they have to. And that's kind of freaky if they do know about it. And maybe it's me because sometimes we attach like these moral values to these people that we shouldn't. So for example, like just the administrators, right? The administrators protect regulars. They don't I don't know if they protect everybody else. Like, okay, you remember when Yuri got punished and she had to go find those she had they sent her to a remote part of whatever floor she was on and she had to go eliminate the species there or whatever. She killed those people with no problem. You remember that, right? She just straight up killed those people. Those people in those species, she just killed them. No administrator stepped in to save her. Nobody helped. Nothing. She just killed them. So there are still remote places that exist in the tower that are outside administrator's control. And I sometimes I have to even remind myself of that while there are established areas in the Zahard Empire on each floor, like um, let's just say, and of course I don't mean this literally, but let's just say the United States is the tower, right? But then Canada and Mexico are outside of the tower, but in the tower. Like they're a part of the like just floor example. They're a part of the second floor, but they're unexplored areas in the second floor. That's what I'm like. That's what I'm getting at. So whatever's going on over there, it's now outside of administrator control. But if they live there and they're not a part of the tower's games, the administrator doesn't involve itself with it. It doesn't really need to. It's the administrator's job is to take care of regulars, not everybody else. So thinking of it like that, like yeah, there are absolutely places where you can operate where administrators can't do shit. So just came. Ho. 25th Supreme. What did I miss? What are we talking about? So I'm talking about um this whole concept of uh this guy, the Lu copy and his lore and everything, right? Everything behind his lore. So I think everything behind him is fabricated. Everything that he believes is real is not real. He does live in a village, right? He does live in a village with other people. I completely believe that. But I don't think that they're cursed. I don't think it's anything like that. I think that they're being controlled. I think that Phantominium created this island where he's testing on people, maybe inhabitants of the tower that like or maybe these are clones that he created himself from like his idea of what people in the tower are like or just use your imagination a little bit when it comes to that. But they're isolated on this island where they're to be tested upon. That's the whole thing. There's no like path of penance or anything like that. They're test subjects, and they're not meant to escape. That's why Cheongium, whatever is, if I'm saying his name right, that's why he's haunting him because he's a test subject who escaped, who's not supposed to escape. You're supposed to stay within the bounds of the place that we're testing you, but we have them manipulated so much that they believe that they're in a village and that they're living like this life. No, you guys are all test subjects for Phantominium. That's it. And I was talking about that administrators allow this to happen because this area that they're being tested on is an area outside of the regular area, right? So while the guardians of the floor, the administrators are floor guardians, right? They guard the floor. Floor guardians only protect regulars. And I mean, obviously, if there's rampant death, but they really only protect regulars. Like regulars and obviously rankers, like if there's a problem there, but they don't really get in, they don't really involve themselves with like the normal or regular people who may have lived or are established there, right? And I'm using the example of when Yuri got in trouble and she got sent to destroy that species. It's like around chapter 3 4, from chapter like 345 to 350, in between those, when we see Yuri for the first time and she's been punished, and those green people where like they say foreigner go away, and she goes and just kills them. No administrator or anybody steps in to stop her. She just kills that species of people. She just does it. No problem. Out of anger. It's like a joking moment, but low key, she's killing a whole species. So I'm saying the administrator doesn't involve itself in areas that don't have to do with the Zahard Empire or the regular area. So something like Magoo, who is obviously being born and is a creature that it turns out, as Zenu said, is gonna be a hidden irregular because he's bought from outside the tower and being like born and cultivated into something completely different than what it originally is. That's something an administrator is not going to involve itself with unless it maybe starts to get involved with regulars and rankers. But even then, I don't know, right? Because technically, it's an outside entity, so it should be bothered by it. Like Magoo is an outside entity. He didn't. Magoo is being created, right? It's like a clone or a test, something that's being created, but it's messing with people that are regulars and rankers. So technically, in my head, the administrator should involve itself in it because it's messing with the system. But that depends, though. If Magoo is born and created, right, and then goes back down to the test floor and then gets submitted to be like some type of regular and it climbs, that's different. But if it's something that's being born and created to destroy shit, and then it messes with regulars and rankers, I think the administrator should get involved. But then there's also, what if Hedon doesn't mess with anything Phantominium related? So, like that would be my only like reasoning for allowing something like Magoo to exist. And if Magoo interferes with like Urek's a regular. So Magoo technically should not be something that's able to attack him. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same concept behind rankers attacking regulars, right? Rankers cannot just simply kill regulars because they're protecting them so they can climb, and obviously there's a power difference. But Magoo is an outside entity, so I feel like the same thing should apply, where Urek shouldn't be able to be touched by something that's not beneficial to regulars. So then what? Is it is it because it's Phantominium related, and Phantominium, like, possible access user within the tower, completely different being, it's its own god? Do you not interfere with anything Phantominium related? That's where it gets a little bit dicey. But if it if Magoo ends up like becoming a regular, okay, cool, cool. Like it goes through the system, cool. But if it's just something that, okay, it's born, it's like this, already matured being, and it attacks Yurik, I don't know how I feel about that. But I guess we'll figure it out when we see it, because we get into a little bit of technicalities and rules that were set, and that's the problem with like something like side stories, because there are rules that are set, right? And I'm just trying to follow the guidelines of the rules. Um, if we're not following the rules, then there's like we that leaves inconsistencies. and I hope that is something that you have to look out for when you make a side story. Um, so in terms of Magoo, right? First of all, the idea of hitting the regulars, I love it. I love the idea of hitting the regulars. That's one thing I've always wanted. Not gonna lie, I don't fuck with the whole Phantominium cult. I always saw that Fanta coming into the tower was an anomaly. He came and left, but now apparently Fanta had a plan that Urek presumably prevented. Don't get me wrong, it makes sense for such an entity to get a followers after the shit he pulled on Zahar. I bet Aaron you had followers too, but from what these guys said, they are not some fakes. Fanta is in charge of this cult. They are legit, and I don't know how to feel about that. So my only pushback to that, Supreme, is that it doesn't exist in the main story. Like like okay, the main story can exist if we didn't know any of this stuff. That would be my only pushback to this. I get that these some of these details have not been relayed to us in the main story because it's not necessarily relevant to the main story. But it doesn't necessarily change too much with this being canon, right? I don't think implementing this, like, if we mix this into the main story, what does that do to the main story? One, the concept of hitting the regulars, the concept I've always wanted, is proven true. That there are irregulars that are brought or that exist in the tower that are not a part of the main tower that we know about. That is something I've always wanted because it's cool, right? That means there are people that we don't know that are possibly as strong or nearly strong as the Great Warriors, and they could have different amount of influence within the tower. That's great. I love that. But in terms of the Fanta stuff, it does get weird when you mix it into the main story, only because he's created his own group, right? And it's not a group we've heard of. It'd be different if we heard of it. Like, for example, it's it mixes a little too close to Fug is my problem. So we know, right? Luslek says that he comes from the darkness. Right now, the concept of light and darkness are like the main themes in this side story. So I don't like how close the darkness of Fanta and the darkness of Fug is because Fug already exists. It should already exist within the tower at this point. It does. So is this like a mixed branch? Is it does Fug get influenced by Fanta's appearance? Like it you see what I'm saying? It gets a little weird here. And then okay, the only main faction forces we've heard of, and it's completely possible, right? I don't think it should be. It shouldn't be, but this cult, let's call it for now, could be a secret that isn't exposed to the rest of the world. It could be that. And Urek doesn't necessarily have any benefit in the main story to let Bomb and crew know about the existence of something like that. Maybe Bomb. But there's so much going on with Bomb that I don't know how relevant it would be to his story. Like, okay, if we eventually get to Urek's floor, then yes, this information would absolutely need to be told to him. But most of the time, Urek's exchanges and meeting up with Bomb in the main story all had to do with the situation they were in. And there's barely any lore stuff that ever came with Urek. It almost never happened. Most of the stuff that we knew about Urek from the main story came from other people and what they knew about him. but there's no reason for them to know about the actual trials and tribulations that he went through. So this group could be just a hidden group within the tower, sort of like the revolutionaries are, right? The revolutionaries had been around for a long time, and we've got bits and pieces of that for a long time. They just last year, after all these years, got confirmed to be a group. So it could be that. And now that I think about it like that, I'm not actually against it if it's something like that. However, my problem is about the movement part of it because they haven't done anything. Now, if they exist to counter Urek, that's different because Urek hasn't necessarily been super active. He's only been active in things relevant to bomb. But then I would want to see something in the main story that we possibly missed that is like a direct shot at this group that exists. Because a group existing for damn near 10 years of Tower of God that has not done anything is it's a little bit of a it's a little bit of a misstep. It is. I gotta say it is. Now, if they get wiped out by Europe, cool. We'll see how that happens. It's a part of history, whatever. But the concept of Magoo is already like right. It's kind of mind blowing, right? A previous luminous one, which is basically an outside god, made into a dark being in the tower. This being should be strong as fuck. Okay, it should be stronger than Urek technically, and being mixed with the darkness of Fanta, current Urek shouldn't be able to deal with it. But yeah, this is kind of what happens when you create a side story with its own real concepts, and it questions a lot of the shit that happens in the regular in the original story. Even though you're not supposed to really, in most fiction, you don't necessarily mix side stories with the main story. It's usually for world building. That's typically what side stories are. They're world building. It's a world building technique. But we've gotten too much background, and I I guess for that it really is. We have to see how it plays out. Um, I believe by the time the main story takes place, Yurik learns about the cult and their connection to Fanta and dealt with them. The problem is, if Fanta had this plan that Yurik ruined, why hasn't Fanta showed up in the tower and bent Yurik over for it? What's stopping him? That's a good no. That's a good point. I would say if I had to answer that, if Yurik fooled Fanta's goal, then Fanta may have left the tower because of that. So maybe so because right in the main story, right, there is a point in time where Fanta and Yurik meet, right? They're supposed to meet within the tower, right? Because Fanta's supposed to laugh at Yurik or whatever. That's supposed to happen, if correct me if I'm wrong. So maybe Yurik foils all of Fanta's plans, and Fanta laughs and like, okay, because maybe okay, and this is just me. We shooting in the dark here. We're shooting for theories, right? Maybe Fanta created this whole cult and this whole plan is to disrupt the order of the tower, which is the false king Zahar to annihilate him and his great warriors, and to open up the tower. So, like to get the ultimate goal, right? We talked about what the ultimate goal possibly is to create more luminous ones. Like defeating the tower creates more luminous ones. You get to the top, you could make a wish, and you also become a luminous one, right? Taking that idea of that's what it is, right? Maybe Fanta created this whole plan to disrupt and defeat Zahar. Okay, Yurik steps in, stops this all from happening. Fanta laughs and say, "Okay." You wanna disrupt everything I got going on? You think I'm evil and all this? I'm gonna leave. You're gonna be stuck in here, and you figure out how to deal with this. Because there's no other way to get outside this tower unless you're me. Unless you have the power that I have, right? Like that's assuming that Fanta's like that, right? And that he left the tower. That's we were told that he was he. We were told that he left the tower. If Fanta straight up left the tower and told you, okay, you figure this out, Yurik, and Yurik says, okay, I'm gonna figure out an amicable way, a good way for me to escape the tower because I'm coming for you, and to stop Zahar from doing what he's doing. That would be my only guess, Supreme. So why like Fanta like just maybe gave up on it? Because maybe Yurik. It wouldn't surprise me that Yurik made it his mission to stop any motion that Fanta has going in the tower, because Fanta is his enemy, right? So it would be his responsibility to stop any motion that Fanta has created for himself in the tower. I absolutely believe that, and he probably will take it upon himself to address that. So that would be my only answer if I had to guess. Ooh, I'm yapping today. It's been a while. I love talking talk. I love talking talk. Um, so going back to the remote island, which I think is a remote. Oh, hold on. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. Is from a blog post or something else. As far as I know, Fanta came, told Zar he's a bitch and left. I've never heard about Yurik fighting Fanta. No, they didn't. I don't think they fought. I don't think they fought. I believe that they supposedly meet up, and I remember particularly something about Fanta laughing at Yurik and then leaving. Or do I have somebody else who, or is it somebody else who laughs? Somebody laughs at somebody and leaves. I believe it's Fanta who laughs. Let me see if I can. Let's check out the Tower of God. Phantominium Tower of God. Let's see if there's anything on the Is there any details in here? There might be. Now this obviously this wiki has changed since the what's the face came out, but this article contains profile of Phantomino, the strongest person in the tower. He is an irregular and entirely different entity called Axis. He is a crossover character from CU's previous manga. The series was currently suspended with current Hagens. Do you not, the famous irregular Phantomino who storms Zahar's castle? Yu Hansong. Phantomine is a mysterious and highly dangerous irregular, currently ranked number one in the tower. He is infamous for contributing to the creation of a stereotype against irregulars. He's presumably the most powerful entity in the tower and is actually Axis. Known as the Riddle, he is the most enigmatic entity and no clear motives, no clear relationships. One day, Phantomania suddenly appeared in the tower and breached the Heart's inner palace, massacring many royals and courtiers, all who were high rankers. He successfully broke through all lines of defense and ultimately confronted Zahar, but vanished without a fight. During the invasion, Phantomania reportedly encountered High Yuri Zahar in the inner palace. Opinions vary widely on why he chose not to kill her. Yuri herself has said that the little about the encounter, only remarking he was a dirty one, a scumbag. That's so like hard to understand. Negative reviews towards the regulars grow significantly because of him, and these views have substantially impacted York Mancino when he climbed the tower. There was considerable opposition with the ranking administration to giving Phantomania the first ranking, as he has to disappear after the attack on Sahara's palace and became inactive. However, everyone agrees his impressive strength, along with overwhelming, as the Phantomania was named the number one ranker. Phantomania is being seen very rarely in the tower since the palace attack, and most of the stories about him are based on rumors, making it The full confirm the accuracy. One rumor suggests that he is a contentious cat and dog type relationship with Yurik and Zeno, though it remains unverified. There are also rumors that he is the only one capable of ascending to the 100 and what? Why do I not remember this? Is that a fact? He is the only one capable of ascending to the 135th floor. Wait, where does that come from? A CU blog post? I don't remember that. I don't remember that. He's the only one capable of ascending to the 135th floor. I do not remember that detail. And that comes from the blog post. What? Wait, that changes everything if that's true. That changes the entire thing about why we thought. Hold on. I am so confused. This is the first time I've heard that rumor. He is the only one capable of ascending the 135th floor. Well, if that's okay, he still would have reason because that's everybody else still can't ascend. But that's interesting. You know what that makes me believe? You know what that does make me believe? I'll tell you what that makes me believe. He can travel through any and everything at will. If that's true, then he can travel how he pleases. Because the 135th floor is locked. It's literally locked. Not even Zahara can get through. It's literally locked. Behind multiple keys that have to be put together, fused together to go in. So, that means to me that he can just travel through it. There would be no other route to get to the next floor. That's crazy. So he can. I believe that he could leave the tower on his own if he wanted to. I 100% believe that. Okay. Sleepy. Hey Mark, welcome back. I get this a 5.5 5.5. I don't like the fact that Yuri flew out of nowhere. You can chop it up to luminous powers, or the fact that he's a regular, but it makes him boring. Excuse me. I 100% agree with you, Sleepy. Um, I said that the chapter was boring, and they made it struggle out of no. They made it seem struggly out of no, for no reason. Yorick being able to fly. Okay, we've been impressed with Yorik's strength for the last couple chapters. Okay, cool, but it's not a wow factor that you can use every single chapter to get us interested. We're gonna get bored of that. Like we know we've already been hyped from the previous series, from the original story that we know how strong he is. Okay, now we can compare him to other people. Cool, that's around him when he first enters. Cool, but you're making him struggle to grab this crown where he just punched the being. He punched the queen like it was no problem. And now, how am I gonna go get the crown? Okay, I'm just gonna go fly and grab it. Like it's it's doing too much for no reason. So I agree with you, Sleepy. It was a lazy chapter. It's about a 5. I call the chapter about a 5 for me. I may be wrong, but I think Ranker can go to the 135th floor, but they're gonna have to challenge the admin. I think that was in a blog post or something. Yeah, I've never heard that one. I've definitely never heard that one. Let me know if you find the information on that one. I absolutely don't remember that, but Phantom Mini was originally a normal human, but was awakened using what? Using an unknown process in the axis. Being an active medium possesses a power that. Sorry. Interesting. Okay. Okay. That 135th floor effect, I didn't know that. Look up 135th floor. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So you can test. So you can test the ad. You can do a test with the admin, but the admin is super hostile. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Mr. Comment about. Okay, hold on. The only thing I can similar to what you're saying is when Yurik went to the guy to make the rankings because he had a lower than Fanta, and the guy said that Yurik fought Fanta, he would lose. You might be right. You might be right. You're probably right. I was looking for somebody to correct me on that. You're probably right. I think you are right about that. Right, because he wanted to get his rank changed, and the guy laughed at him. That's right. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Supreme. I get that he's wrong, but I'm dogging everyone. But I feel like he should be two steps above at regulars, but not reg rankers. Like if everyone at rank F, but he's rank D, so on and so forth. Oh, by the way, you missed my. Oh yeah, I read that. I imagine Fanta can travel to any darkness or anything that casts a shadow. Well, they say that Fanta can. He's an author. They call it like they call him an author, right? Access uses is or at least him. He can write his own story. Is what it sounds like. So my idea of Fanta is that basically he can alter his own story and do whatever he wants. So yeah, anything probably any, especially when it comes to shadows and darkness, he can manipulate it how he wants. So him traveling through 135th floor, I don't think. Yeah, it's probably nothing to him. Now, as far as high rankers ascending to the 135th floor via the admin test, I mean the admin test is something that nobody can beat apparently, like nobody. And that's not to say I don't know if the great warriors have tried because it's not saying that the great warriors have tried, but nobody who has tried can do it. It sounds kind of wild. Like you can ascend that way, but nobody can beat the test. And we've seen how strong like the top dogs are, especially like a a Urek or a Ari Han. But maybe like the Great Warriors don't want to ascend, so they've never taken the test. I don't know. But yeah, Supreme, I think you're right about the ranking bureau. I think you are right about that. Fanta can go up to the 135th floor on his own. That does change things. Okay, I'll take that to heart. Um, so yeah, in terms of things that happen besides all the lore stuff we just got into, I did really like everything with Evelyn. Love the Bulls. Hopefully she doesn't end up in the flip phone position out. Whatever and everything's over. So I don't mind the Evelyn stuff. It's just that it's a bit slow. Like she literally been laying there for a while now. So I just hope that we get to like the end of that. Um, the Queen stuff is it's cool, but let's get to that. Um, I don't mind her relationship with Lou and liking Lou and wanted to like this fantasy thing for Lou. I love all that shit. That shit's good. It's everything else that happened in between in the chapter that made it boring. One, again, the art style sucked. Okay, art style stuff. Two, the plot barely moved along. It really didn't. The conversation between Evelyn and the guy from the island was just, "Are you sure you're not a regular? What's a regular? A regular is this. That everybody knows what a regular is. I don't know what a regular is." Like the conversation was boring as fuck. Like nothing was told about it. All we get told is like some details about like everybody in this village wears these clothes. We can't leave. Walk the path of penance. We obviously know that these people get killed because Cheongyam is looking for the guy to kill him. So all that stuff, which I don't think it's real. I think it's fabricated stuff. Um, even the Po Beat Out guy, which I don't recognize this guy. Does anybody know this guy? Do we know him from somewhere, or is he a new character? I think he's a new character, right? He's a new character, right? Him. He's a new character, right? We don't know him from anywhere, right? Because I can't remember any season or anything with this guy being referenced or made or anything from the original story. And he seems like a bit of an asshole, right? I thought he was a bit better than that, but I don't think I like him very much. I like pull beat out characters in general. I usually do, but I don't like this guy very much. He seems a bit of a cocky asshole. So, but yeah. Besides the details of that, nothing really happened this chapter. Really might be the worst Uric chapter. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Pacing in Tower God's biggest issue. It's like chips. You don't eat one chip at a time. You take multiple in your hand, eat them. Tower God isn't made for a weekly format. I listen. I hate that I would agree with you, but I agree with you. I hate that I agree with you because I love the chapters that are good are so good. Like typically, Todd really rarely has just good chapters, right? That's like okay, this chapter is a solid 8.5, 8. Most chapters are like that are good are nines, nines plus, usually tens. The chapters in between, so this chapter that just passed is one I would consider an in between chapter. It sucks. It's just a bad chapter. It's just nothing happening. The plot's not moving forward. We get the little Evelyn shit. We already predicted the stuff with the Queen. Nope, we don't really care about her team that much. Nothing really happened with Lou and Sacho, Grandpa. Yurick just is struggling to grab a crown off the top of the Queen's head when he just literally punched her in her damn head, and now he can't grab the crown. And then the advisor is just sitting back reacting. Like he was just like, that was it. Bad chapter. It's okay. It's okay to have a bad chapter. Bad chapter. That's all. So, it is what it is. Um, yeah. Yeah, bad chapter. But I don't know if there's anything else for me to talk about. That's pretty much everything that happened. I don't know if you guys have seen the CU stuff with CU like being in America and stuff. Let me I started reading Tog around Rex Transformation. I wasn't a fan, so I let the check this bill. Once season 3 ended, I ended up binging the whole thing in 3 days, and it was awesome. I love that for you because waiting for it week to week was not fun the whole time. Bits and pieces of it were okay, but in like the last like 30 chapters of Tower of God was like really good. Like maybe 35, maybe even 40 chapters were really good. I love like the last 40 chapters, but the stuff with Dumas I didn't like. Um, Most of the stuff with Dumas and Bomb I didn't really like, and yeah, in terms of like the last chapters, that was probably the only thing I didn't like. So here's See You here, right? Sorry if that's a little loud. So I don't know if this was yesterday or the day before, but here's See You here in America for the expo. And I really hope that he pays attention with this because he got. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's in the Discord because Zenu posted it, but he had massive fan reception at this anime expo. He had massive fan expo. I actually was shocked at the amount of fandom that was out there to talk to him. They said his RSVPs were full. The walk-ins were full. Like there were so many people there to meet him. I hope that Webtoon and him pay more attention to their American audience. Please. We love it here. We love Tower of God, damn it. We love it here. Please. Give Webtoon. Please. When season 4 drops, drop it on Webtoon. I have no problem paying for it. I would love to pay for it the same way I pay for T-Bait. The same way that I pay for T-Bait every week, I will pay for it. I have no problem paying for it. But if we're going to be 6 weeks behind the current chapters, I will be a pirate. I will be a pirate for One Piece. Okay. Okay. Listen, I got absolutely no problem being a goddamn pirate. Okay. If we're gonna be 6 weeks behind, Webtoon, you got to get that shit together. I know it's getting I know it's getting an English release, but it's still we're 15 chapters in. We're 15 chapters in. We're currently 15 chapters in. You expect me to wait, and they might drop the first 6 chapters the way it did when it originally came out. But even so, bro, you're still 6 weeks behind. What is it with Naver and Webtoon that we can't get this shit right like it used to be? Season 2, it was right, bro. Have y'all ever looked at the numbers? Have you guys? So I want y'all to look at this. If you've never looked at this, because this was peak Tower of God. This was peak Tower of God. Look at the amount of likes right there for the end of season 3. Right, this is the end of season 3. Right, season and end of season 3. Right, 28K likes. Right, decent, cool. Right, 2025. This is still, bro. Look at this. This is still season 3, but this is August 2023. Look how many likes. 55K, right? 50. You see that 55K? Look at this. This is still season 3, right? This is still season 3, right? 84K, and we were getting on time shit during this time. This is what it looks like when we get on time. When we're on pace with Naver. Look, it's 84K, bro. The end of season 3 got 28K. Bro, it's triple that. It's triple that. You lost triple your fan base from not being on time. Fam, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Bro, imagine losing triple your fan base. And this is just liked. This is just liked. Not the. This is not counting for people who don't like shit like me. I don't like shit. But this is just based off the likes. Bro, you lost triple your audience. Like you lost 2/3 of your audience. Hello? Hello? Bro, this is the beginning of season 3. 141K likes. What are we doing? What are we doing? Bro, this is 141K. Episode 19 of season 3 in 2019. This was peak Tower of God. Bro, I binged the series in 2017. I binged the series. It was fun as fuck to just read it. And I love reading Webtoons comments because there are so many of them. There are so many comments in the comment section, bro. So many comments. So many fans that you did not know existed, bro. Like ball drop. Like I swear to you, I hope that see you coming here, Webtoon, Naver. See, I hope they get this shit together. This is tragic. This is tragic. This is a tragic drop off, bro. We went from 141K in the beginning of season 3. Season 1, season episode 1 of season 3, 151K. Bro, you lost what? Almost 4 times? Almost 5 times your fan base because you're not dropping on time? Not the not the and not for nothing. There was some problems in season 3. If you watched, we talked about this in the big stream with Naya and Bonehead and everybody. There was some drop off, some bad stuff, some bad content that I thought like the writing was pretty subpar. But when we came back, bro, nobody was waiting 6 weeks, bro, to catch up. I'm sorry. That's a ball drop. Not gonna lie, sometimes I'm eager to go on Bonehead's Orb stream and tease him that he can't pirate Urek, because he's sponsored by Webtoon. Kind kindergarten levels of pettiness. Yeah, and that's why it's difficult me to. That's why I can't consume Bonehead's content the way I would want to. Um, I've watched his theory videos, like his bomb theory videos, his Inryu theory video. I've watched like plenty of his theory videos, right? But when it comes to chapter reviews and live chapter like reactions, I can't watch it because it was just weeks ago. It was weeks ago when I had that feeling. Oh, when Tiara got her head blown off, it don't hit the same for me when I saw that 6 weeks ago and you're now reacting to it. Like, and there's no shade against him. I like him. I like his content. He's a very well spoken guy. Um, but that goes for most of the guys who read like the official. It's hard for me to be a part of like their part of, and that's what we talked about in the stream, how it separates the community, and it sucks because guys like me and Naya, we can't wait. I can't wait. I love Tower of God. I can't wait. I'm an addict. I can't wait. I'm sorry. I need my fix. Damn it. But it does separate us, and it sucks. Um, this is off topic, but I think the reason why Belier and maybe Lou is so weak and can't remember where he's from is because of Wang Nam is a little difficult to explain. Here, here can though. Okay, yeah, you're gonna have to get into more detail about that, Sleepy. I'm not sure what the connection would be, but of course, I'm willing to listen. Like, bro, I get it. They were caught up, but locked the chapters behind coins, but they're not even doing that during season 3. Even if you pay for the coin chapters, you're still far behind. Right? It's not even worth the money. Like, the chapters exist. Like, bro, the current chapters exist, and you're still 6 weeks behind, even if you pay for Fast Pass. That's ass. Nobody's doing that. When you can get it for free, I'm sorry. And this Webtoon may shoot me in my foot for this later on. Like, oh, you were talking about blah, 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 blah. Listen, I'm just being real. It's a terrible business practice. Bro, you went from 151K at the beginning of season 3, 151K likes, March 17th of 2019. Granted, it's a long fucking season, minus the hiatus. Long, extremely long season. But to 28K, fam, you didn't keep people here. And the big reason was because you were behind. This could have been at least at 70 or 80K if you were up to date. It might have even been more than that. Recently stumbled on this French guy that does talk theories. His theories are pretty good. That's nice. Okay. Well, if you got anything you want me to look at, feel free to throw it in the Discord or whatever. What can I put my theory in the comments and hear what you think about it next week? If you don't agree, if you find evidence against it, all means roasted. But you, Sleepy, there is a theory thread in the Discord. Throw it in that. Um, we do have a theory thread for theories. So in the Tower of God official, it's called the Floor of Theories. If you have anything that you want anybody to read, just throw it in there. Throw it in there. I'm definitely gonna check it. There's a few. I know Cam's gonna check it. I know Zender's gonna check it. Yeah, it's been a while since somebody like in the chats come up with a theory, but please throw it in there. I absolutely read it. Um, do you think Yurik and the Dolphin may be al- al- may be allegedly about Yurik and Zahar? I'm not sure. I'm sorry. Maybe it's my English or maybe it's my um uh vocabulary. I'm not sure what that word is. Allegory about he could kill Zahar and free the tower, but he won't because it would destroy the tower system. Yeah, it's absolutely that's absolutely like what's happening. What's been happening is that Yurik refuses to fight Zahar. He said that himself. That why would I need to fight Zahar? Fighting Zahar wouldn't bring anything. Zahar has created a system that balances out the tower, despite the like that's why he ignores the gross shit that he does. Like despite everything Zahar does, he's created a system that created balance and peace. Um, and we can go and I've had arguments with people. We can go back and forth on that, like whether Zahar's a tyrant or not, or but there are people who experience peace through him. So it's only so much you can say about Zahar. Allegory, story, poem, or picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one. Okay. Do you think the dolphin? Oh, okay. So, I guess like I understand the meaning of it. Like, I guess like what's the word I'm looking for? Um, yeah. Some like a bit of an oxymoron, like two opposing forces that kind of reflect off each other and to mean that they have a bigger meaning or deeper meaning for the tower. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. It's the same thing with like when Bomb chose to when that when Trom sent that giant beast in the fish tank after Bomb, and Bomb he thought Bomb would kill it, and Bomb chose to release it and the whole fish tank. It's like the whole idea of what Bomb chooses to do, and everybody recognizes that. Like, okay, that's your answer. Your answer to everything is to free everything instead of killing things. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. Definitely the exact same thing. All right. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. So I go on my honeymoon on Tuesday. Um, I go on my honeymoon on Tuesday. I won't be back until the 19th. Well, actually, I'll be back home on the 14th, but the rest of my vacation lasts till the 19th. So I can still get out content during that period of the 19th. I'll probably get a review out during that time. So when am I coming back? Let me be specific here. So I go on my honeymoon on the 8th. I come back the 14th, which is that Monday. Chapter usually drops on a Tuesday, Wednesday. So if English translation comes out 15th or 16th, I'll definitely get a review out that week and a stream. So that's when I'll be back. But yeah, I mean, we had pretty good conversations about the stuff today. Sorry for anybody joining late. Feel free to watch the video back. We talked a lot about some of the stuff that happened the past couple weeks. Again, this past chapter was not very good. Not a lot happened, but the mixing it in with some of the stuff that happened previously and just some theories, we had a pretty good discussion about stuff today. So, other than that, yeah, I'll be on my honeymoon, guys. Feel free to write in the Discord. I'll always be checking that no matter what. But uh, I have a to get some money. I absolutely will. Hopefully we make it my first child. But not all love. Thank you guys for the support. I'm so sorry that I haven't been around in between getting married last week and now going on my honeymoon. Just this whole stretch of the month last past month, and I went on my bachelor trip in the beginning of the June. I've just been so busy with all that stuff. It'll be over after the 19th. Okay, I'll be back making my normal rounds of content, and it's not just gonna be for Tower of God. The new series, Free Ren is coming back out. I still gotta do Fire Force stuff. T Bait season 6 ended, and I gotta talk about that. How disappointing T Bait was. Listen. I don't want to go off, but T Bait season 6 was ass. I'm sorry to say it. That shit was fucking disappointing. I'm so disappointed with that shit. So disappointed with it. Some of the fights were good, but the last 10 chapters, I'm mad I paid for that. I should have just pirated that shit. I paid for that shit, and that shit was ass. I hated it. Art was good. I love the new artist, but it was not good. It was not good. I'm sorry. A lot of that shit was boring as hell. And I got some T-Bay guys in here, but fuck me. That shit was not good. So anyway, I'm out, guys. You can catch me in the Discord. Feel free to write me.